I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game. Is the thought that ran through my head as I was watching Haikyu. The series took me completely by surprise. Watching a clip here or there really doesn't paint the whole picture for what this series is about or what it has to offer. Because Haikyu is this generation's slam dunk, hands down. I ignored the hype around this series for so long, but finally giving in when my friends pushed me to watch it. Volleyball was low on my list of sports I'd be interested to play, let alone watch. I mean, it's higher than cricket and golf, but it's still pretty low. But that changed, and this is all because of Haikyu. Because I've tried another volleyball anime, but with all girls, and the goon potential was not enough to keep my attention past 3 episodes. But Haikyu showed me that I really underestimated the sport. It took me a few episodes for the series to click for me, but when it did, it clicked like a light bulb. It only took me about 19 episodes of season 1. It was a match of Karasuno High versus Kitagawa Daiichi Junior High, where Orikawa, the Great King, faced off against Kageyama, the King of the Court, and Hinata, the greatest decoy. This is the episode and match that made me finally lock in, literally at this exact moment.
Don't let me down, fellas. Alrighty?
But it was also in that moment that made me notice and love another thing about Haikyu and what it does better than most sports anime. When Haikyu gets going, it really gets going. It doesn't feel like it breaks momentum even for a training arc. Usually a sports anime will have that crawling phase where either because the MC is completely new to the sport or the sports is niche as hell, momentum breaks to explain things like terminology and whatever. Like take Ice Shield 21, a completely niche sports anime, and because it's so niche, it has probably the worst crawl phase than any other sports anime you know of, because the MC has to learn the basics. It might be fine if you're also completely new to the sport, but if you already know some basics, it feels like torture. That's what I love about Haikyu, because 19 episodes in, it surprised me because I was asking myself, wait, we're already in the Inter-High arc? And it only gets better from there, and where Haikyu truly starts to shine. Furodate Haruichi, the series creator, who the wiki says has first-hand experience with volleyball and would sometimes go to school just to play.
Damn.
And even research professional players. That's passion and dedication, not only as a fan, but also as a player. And it shows in the story because you can see how he captures the player's POV and the mental game that comes with the sport. This is where I compare it to sports like one outs and baby steps, because there's a level of mental foreplay in the series I didn't expect, or you rarely see from sports anime, if at all. And coming from a player's POV, not just a fan. In the match of Oikawa versus Kageyama, I don't want to spoil it, but there was a moment I gasped and said, he read you like a fucking book. What a read that was. It was a moment that completely blew me away, not just from how hard the play was, but also how hard the players thought of the plays, and the mental game still goes to another level even after that. With volleyball's attack, defend, and set positions, a sport I thought was just hot potato with extra steps, turned out to be a game of rock, paper, scissors with a ball. Haikyu makes me think volleyball is one of the few sports you can say is chess, not checkers. Even more when you know about the players having rotations in their team's lineup, giving them different variations on their strengths and weaknesses depending on the positions the players end up. Like, imagine seeing your shooting guard in the rebound position or a lineman in the running back position. Now, these are extremely bad examples, but you get the idea. So adding up all of that is a huge part of what makes Haikyu slap so hard. The creator knew exactly how and where to keep your eyes glued to the plays, and while keeping it realistic and not exaggerating moves like some other anime. It reminds me of that one Old Spice commercial.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me.
Look at me, look at you, now back to me. But that's just one half. Obviously the other half are the characters, but let me tell you, when I first started, I wasn't feeling them. I could hear the cliches and see the character artists coming a mile away. I didn't like Kageyama because his trauma felt cringe and should have easily been fixed before the story even started. It felt like an obvious nerf or weakness meant to set up a big character development moment later, like stuff like Hinata's weak point, the team needing a coach, or missing some key members, stuff you know is going to get resolved. But man, what a surprise it turned out to be. I called the read from the start, saw the setup, saw the arc coming, but still caught me off guard because the execution was way better than I ever expected. Kageyama actually ended up becoming one of my favorite characters, and it all started from this one match against Oikawa. What surprised me is how some characters actually found and build on their strengths early on, and it's not exaggerated or glorified. Like one of the other players giving up his role as a setter because Kageyama was simply better, and he was the one who suggested it to the coach. That moment felt mature, like real growth, accepting your own limits without letting it crush your coffins, and still finding your own way to support the team. And that kind of growth isn't just for one character, it's something you see in everyone on the team, both on and off the court. And from there, the dominoes just kept falling. This is why I compared Haikyu and called it this generation's slam dunk, but without the crawling. So color me surprised, Haikyu didn't drop the ball, it spiked it hard.